Hello! The Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture brings you Step Up to Kindergarten, a series of interactive videos designed to help kids and their grown-ups get ready for the big step into kindergarten. Sponsored by STCU. Hi, it's you! I'm so glad you're here with me today. My name's Allison, and I'm an educator with the Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture. I'm really excited about today because we're going to learn all about opposites. Opposites means if it's not one way, it's got to be the other. Let's get started. Let's start by thinking about what you'll need today. Today you're going to need a talking partner, someone to share your thinking with. It could be a grown-up, a friend, a pet, or even a stuffed animal. The only other thing you'll need today is your big thinking brain. It's important to know why we learn about certain things. And here's why we learn about opposites. When we know opposites, it helps us describe the way things are. Usually opposites are describing words. Also, when we start thinking about groups of words, when we learn opposites, it can help us learn new words. Opposites are a way to compare two different things. People like scientists compare things and put them in groups. Knowing about opposites will help us in kindergarten. So what are opposites? Well, opposites can be found in the way things look, the way things feel, the way things sound, or the meaning of things. Sometimes we think about opposites as if it can't be one way, it must be the other way. Look at these two dogs. They're opposite in size. One is very big, the other is pretty small. Sometimes we have meaning in opposites. Red light means stop. Green light means go. Stopping is the opposite of going. Sometimes directions can be opposite. Up, down, left, right. The way things feel can be the opposite, and the way things sound can be the opposite. Let's take a closer look at some opposites. When we're thinking about opposites, it helps to think about the properties of something, or what is it like? One of the things we can think about is the size of something. Take a look at these two airplanes. Think about their size. One is very big. One is very small. They have opposite sizes. Take a look at these delicious things. Some are thick, some are thin. I don't care what size fries are, I love them all. People come in different sizes too. Tall is the opposite of short. The things we do can have opposites too. Think about these two animals. The tortoise is very slow. The rabbit is very fast. They move at opposite speeds. In school, you might have turns standing up to do different activities and also sitting down to do different activities. Standing up is the opposite of sitting down. What does this sign mean? You probably guessed, stop or walk. Wait or walk. Those are opposite actions. Opposites happen when we're thinking about where things are too. Remember, if it can't be one way, it must be the other. Have you ever jumped on a trampoline? When you jump, you go up, and the opposite of up is when you come down. Sometimes we like to do things inside If we're not inside, we're probably outside. Inside and outside are opposites. We can also think about things like left, right, front, back, all opposites. We can also talk about the way something feels, and we can practice opposites that way too. Look at this soft, comfy pillow. Soft is the opposite of hard. Think about this place. The weather is very hot. This place, the weather is the opposite of hot. It's very cold. Now we're going to have a chance to practice thinking about some opposites. I'm going to show you a picture and tell you the word that describes the picture. Then I want you to try to guess what the opposite might be. This bee is in front of the fence. If he's not in front of the fence, he's somewhere else. Can you guess what the opposite of in front is? Behind or in back of. This bee is on a flower. If you're not on something, you must be off. Off is the opposite of on. Let's try a few more. The butterfly is over the cloud. What's the opposite of over? If the butterfly is not over the cloud, it must be under the cloud. This plant shows only a few tomatoes. Not very many. What's the opposite of a few? Many. Okay, you've been sitting for a little while, so now it's time for a whole body workout. What I'd like you to do is to stand up next to where you're working and make sure you have room to move your arms and your body, and you're not going to bump into anything. And we're going to sing an opposite song. Okay, I hope you sing with me when you're ready. We know opposites, opposites, opposites. We know opposites. Sing with me. Open and shut. Open and shut. Open and shut. Sing with me. Front and back. Front and back. Front and back. Sing with me. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Sing with me. Hot and cold. Hot and cold. Hot and cold. Sing with me. Happy and sad. Happy and sad. Happy and sad. Sing with me. Loud and loud. Loud and sing with me. Stand and sit. Stand and sit. Stand and sit. Sit quietly. All right, are you ready for a brain workout? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you a picture. And first, I want you to just carefully look all around the picture. I'm going to give you some quiet time just to think about what you see. Last, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'm going to ask you to share your thinking with someone else. It could be a grown-up, a friend, or even a stuffed animal. If you don't have anyone to share your thinking with, pause the video, go find someone, come back with them, and then press play. Let's take a quiet moment, no talking, just thinking about this picture. Tell someone next to you, what's going on in this picture? Do you see any people? What are the people doing? Where might this picture be? What more can you find? Tell your talking partner one more thing that you found in our picture. Thank you for sharing your thinking today. All right, let's take just a few minutes to practice more thinking about opposites. This time, I'm going to tell you a word, and I would like you to try to guess the opposite of that word. This owl is clean. What's the opposite of clean? If something isn't clean, it must be dirty. Take a look at this owl. We can see his front. What's the opposite of the front of something? The back. Take a look at this owl. He's under the umbrella. He's staying dry. What's the opposite of dry? Wet. Poor owl. Here are some things you can try to help you remember your opposites. You can create an opposites museum. You can use little boxes or bags or some room on a table or shelf and try finding things around your house that are opposites. Another game you can play this inside or outside your house. You can play I Spy with somebody, but instead of saying what you see, tell them the opposite of what you see. It would sound like this. I spy something that is the opposite of big. Go ahead and give it a try. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you learned something new. You're one step closer to kindergarten. The Step Up series has been brought to you by the Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture in Spokane, Washington. Check out our website at www.northwestmuseum.org, sponsored by STCU.